What's going on? Welcome back to Boys Club. And today we are going to start with introductions. Who are we? Why are we called Boys Club? Where did that term come from? Why are we important? Are we even relevant? Does this all matter? What's the deal with all these handsome men talking to you today?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll talk about it. We'll start individually. So I'll give my background. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, who I am, my experiences, and why I think my voice is important. So my name is Boaz. I've been an educator for over 10 years, specifically in math. You can't put me in no reading class. Them kids won't. It ain't gonna work for them. You say what?
My dog can count though.
Oh, I can count
to 10.
I can count. That's my forte. Been in the education system for over 10 years. Was able to become a math coach. I have my dog with me. One of the best
I'm a recruit.
math teachers I ever seen in my life. Aside from being in the educational field, I'm also a father. I'm a husband. I'm a friend. I'm been in my community for quite some time. I've done a lot of events in North Miami with my church. We've helped the community or the youth in that community with growth in their spiritual lives, with growth in their thinking, with growth in their education. We've just done so many things in that community that I'm proud of. And with that experience, together with my teaching experience, I think my voice is very important. And I think what I have to say could change your life. And that's who I am.
It will.
All right, I'm next. Amen. Amen. Whatever that means, right? So, all right. So look, my name is Eric Sumlar. I go by Bob Sumlar, Eric Sumlar, Eric Bob Sumlar. Wear multiple hats. Father, husband, educator. Obviously, I try to do everything that I try to do a lot. I won't say everything. I try to do a lot, especially for the community where I'm from, born and raised in South Florida, Opelika. And that's where my heart is. That's where my heart will always be. And I want to see the youth grow. So that's why we're here today with the Boys Club name, with the Boys Club brand, and what we wanted to become, a voice for the youth.
How do I follow up behind Bob, Eric Sumlar, a.k.a. Marty Bird. Marty Bird.
Certain times. Back against the wall.
All right. I'm Kevin Gibson. I am a clinical mental health therapist, marriage and family therapist, nationally certified counselor. I don't think y'all know this or not, but I actually taught 3 years of 11th and 12th grade English. Did y'all know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't think y'all knew that. So I have experience in the classroom, but also in school leadership as dean of students, mental health coordinator. Some would call it assistant principal. But majority of my work has been in the community, helping inner city kids and their families, dealing with what we call the poverty of trauma, and explain it. We'll talk about that at some point. But a lot of my work has just been seeing families restored, allowing Black youth to have an identity, and so I'm excited, man. And so we are a group of men here that can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And we are men that have the same purpose. And so it's all about, unity, not uniformity. So we all come together as it relates to this having the same purpose, the same goal, the same outcome. So aside from being a therapist and a counselor, I am a husband to a beautiful wife who is a nurse. And so I'm just excited to be here.
Amazing. Happy to have you.
Yes, sir. And that's why you my dog, man. Cool dude, man. Big Tone in the building. You know what I'm saying? Big Tone, former Division I athlete, former NFL player, an excellent educator. Now I am a volleyball coach at the middle school level, Start my own volleyball club down in the Opelika area for the poverty area for our kids. You know what I'm saying? They need another avenue, and I'm working on that, trying to build that up. So I'm always invested in my community. Few certificates here and there with social emotional learning, mental health. So as a person that love my community, I'm always trying to learn and see how I can help my people. So that's my main goal right now, and helping them in the ways that suit my skill set to help my people in the best way possible. That's me. I'm here for it.
You was holding out too.
Complex. Yeah, complex. Couple certificates here and there.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
A little bit, man.
Holding
I
out.
listen, man. I listen.
I hear that.
I learn.
Yeah.
So you can listen.
Absolutely. It's a skill.
So before I introduce myself, I definitely want to say I'm grateful to be here with you all. I remember when I started at BCP at the middle school level, I think there were some opinions about the type of educator that I would be, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I think it's very uncommon that you see a group of black men exist the way in which we do, and I'm not talking about existing in space to only talk about a particular thing in a particular way. We were able to really form bonds on all levels. And for me, that's always been one of the most meaningful parts of my career in education, was the time I spent at the middle school level, coming down from the high school level, where I didn't have the opportunity to see so many black men on the same page as me, despite what y'all thought about me to start the journey. So yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, man, boys thought I was green, but whatever. So my name is David L. Jackson, Cool, Smooth, Money Making Jack, Action Jack, Captain Jack, the Juggernaut Jack, among many things. And I can go on for days. Those were all things that my students called me. I think I got about 12, but we'll stop at 6. Born and raised in the inner city of Miami-Dade County, Florida, currently operating in the global education technology space as an associate director of learning delivery, lead facilitator. Spend my time consulting, developing equitable systems across the entire United States. Outside of that, I do a lot of freelance work in the leadership division, national, also on the international level. I've done workshops in Egypt, Israel, and of course, because of COVID, allowed me to do those things virtually. I too spend a lot of time in the social emotional learning space. And on top of that, I run a very successful nonprofit in the city titled Project Thug, Transforming Hope and Unifying Generations, which I'm sure in the next few years will be the biggest thing that we'll be talking about across the United States.
I know that's right.
And I'm proud of the work that I've done thus far. But I know that there's still a ton more to do. And I actually never wanted to be an educator. And so I'm interested to talk a little bit more about one of the topics that's going to pop up. Where are the educators? Where are people going? Why don't they want to be here? And you'll hear more about me as we start to move into the actual podcast, because I don't want to give too much right now. But that's me.
That's enough, Jack. That's enough, Jack. Don't give
Slow down.
I'm going to take it easy.
Don't give him too much.
Can I do a do-over? I want to do over too.
Right? Like, dang, I know how to swim too, and I gotta add something.
I got a dog.
The boys out here. All right, that's what's up. So yeah, that's who we are, and what I want to talk about now is how we kind of came together. Jack kind of alluded to it a little bit, but it's very rare that you see so many black men, especially in the education field, kind of come together and bond together. In the education field, in general, it's very few of us. It's less than 2% of the educators. Less than 2% of the educators are black males. Okay? Let me say that again, because when you say something twice, it's important. Mm-hmm. Less than 2% of all the educators are black males. So yes, it's a group of us here, but we represent a very small percentage out there. And and I want to know why. Like, why none of us want to be teachers? Why don't we be teachers? Are we important? I think we are. I've seen the impact of all these gentlemen in a schoolhouse, but I don't think everybody sees the importance of black males in the education field. I'll give one brief story before we talk about how we became together. And I shared this before. I didn't want to be an educator either. I had to find a job to do something. I had a kid. My wife she just had she was getting she was about to have labor, and I was like, man, I gotta work. I can't just be in school forever. So I jumped into teaching, and so I applied at this elementary school. I don't remember the name. It was in Miami for sure. I don't remember the principal name, but the lady interviewed me, and I thought it went well. I was really young, but I thought it went well. But she told me at the end of the interview, man, I like you, but I can't trust you, with my kids. At the time, it probably went over my head. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But what does that mean? When you look at me and say, I can't trust you in front of my kids, whether you think you're protecting your kids from just a male in the building, whether you think you're protecting your kids from my ideologies, whether you think you're protecting your kids from my bravado or who I am or what I have to offer, like that's something that over time I realized, that's messed up. That's kind of wild to say to somebody who wants to educate our kids, who wants to have an impact. So everybody doesn't share, my bad, John. Everybody doesn't share the vision that I have or the view that I have that we are important. So much so that when we were at a school, all of us was at a school at one time, and y'all can help me out with this. My man is an excellent math teacher. He was doing it. Why you gotta laugh when I say that, man? He really is dope, man. I don't know why he
I
be
love
doing
his style
that.
too.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's unorthodox. I'm gonna let y'all know, but it's dope. It works.
But it works.
Very
It's
effective.
effective.
It works. That's all that matters.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what it is.
works.
I love it. My man is excellent in the building. My dog Coach got things running smooth. Jack is upstairs doing what he got to do with the kids, and I'm doing what I can in
All-star
the classroom
team,
or
bro.
whatever. But he
He always sell himself short.
it ain't about me right now. My bad, bro. But we was doing what we was doing, and so rumors kind of started to pop up, and they started to, chatter started to happen. Why so and so behave in Mr. Sumlar class, but when they come to my class, they don't behave? Why when they with Mr. Jackson, they're standing up, sitting up straight, paying attention, but when they in my class, they not doing that? How are these guys doing that? Here's what they said. They're men. Because they have bass in their voice, kids automatically respect them. Here's what they said. They're men. The principal is a man. He has favoritism towards them. So they don't have to do all the extra stuff that we have to do to prepare. They're men. All they talk about is women, sports, cars, and whatever other stereotype you want to throw out there. That's what was said about us in the classroom. That's what they said. And you tell me if I'm wrong.
No, he's absolutely correct. And it was followed by, they're the boys club.
They called us the boys. They gave us that name.
And we stole it.
I mean, what was crazy was I wasn't even hanging with y'all at the beginning of the year. So the things that they were seeing, I think one time they happened to come into the coach room.
Yeah,
that was
came to warm up your food.
I came in to warm up my food, and then from there, I think once they started seeing us together, and that didn't happen in the beginning of the school year, but once they started to see us together, that's when the chatter started. Like, it must be something going on there to excuse what's happening in the building.
And I always speak on it as far as the connection that we have with the kids, that we had and still do have with the kids. Is frightening for people to see, even as far as now with a recent situation. They're afraid that if we all stick together, it will become a problem, and that's what it's like a trend. They seen us all huddled up together and just warming up food, just sitting down, spending our 30 minutes that we get for lunch in the room where the microwave was at. We're just warming our food up, and now look at them in there. They're congregating. They're talking about the things that they say we speak about, which is not even we don't speak about sports that much because I'm the only one that like LeBron.
No, I like LeBron.
But like it's bothering to think about it then, and then it's still going on.
Yeah, I think one thing for me, and I'll kick it to Coach because I know Coach definitely has some personal views about this. One thing that always bothered me about that situation, now reflecting on it years later, was it took away from our capabilities as educators. There was never any question or conversation around what strategies do you use to get the students on board, nor was there ever any effort to actually have a conversation with any one of us about what we were doing to make our style work. And it was always disappointing to me, at least, because I know when I came to school every day, my goal was to swing the bat as hard as I could. Every single class, from bell to bell, I was instructing. I gave the best I had every single day. I took time to build systems in my classroom. Like, this is what I went to school for. I took time to polish my craft. And so what I got out of teaching, the results I got from my students were purely a product of what I put in to get there. What's also alarming is it takes a lot of time and preparation to get the results that we were able to achieve inside of that building around multiple subject areas. Physical education, I taught world history, language arts, and speech and debate. I had 4 preps actually. Math. So these are all spaces that are critical and core areas to a child's life. So it's tough for me even now to just sit back and think what I'm capable of doing was diminished to the fact that I was the guy. And if we were to genderize it, if it was male to male and it was only my male students who were performing, then I would say, yeah, you may have a point. But every single student in my classroom was operating at a particular level that they had never operated on before until I got in front of them. So we should be talking about strategy. We should be talking about what is he doing in the classroom, as opposed to it's because he's just a man.
I'm going to ask you the question, Coach. So why do you think that is? Why do you think people don't appreciate males in the education space? I'm going to start with you, Coach. And then
black males or males?
I'm going to say black males. I think it's black males in particular. Why do you think they don't appreciate us in the education space? Why do you think they don't respect us in the education space? We all can jump in, but I want you to start off, Coach.
The way I see it, for one, the educational space more so has more females in there.
Yeah.
So anytime you see a male, I think white or black, it's already surprising. Then when you see a black male, it's even more surprising. Because like you said, less than 2%. So it's like, what are you doing here? You must have just ain't have nothing else to do. You just trying to get you a check and get up out of here. And without even getting to know us or seeing our coaching style or teaching style, looking at our credentials and looking at our work, they just assume that we are incompetent.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about. We're not educated, and that's not right. Because all of us, I mean, we plan, like you said, Jack, we plan, we're prepared. And the part that I'm very proud of for all of us is the fact that we know how to communicate with the kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have a genuine love and respect for them, and we treat them as such. And a person can know if you care about them or not. You spend enough time with them, you'll figure out if they care about you or not.
Yep.
And because we've been consistent with our hard work, effort, and the love, the kids feel that.
Yeah.
So once a person finds out that you actually care about them, they're more likely to listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And the stuff that we are saying is very valuable stuff. And, you know, the assignments we give them, they can apply it if they try, you know what I mean? But I think we do a good job of motivating them, and so they can try, and then they have an opportunity to see the results and make it work that way. So it's just like just having a chance, man. Just having a chance. They don't trust us. It ain't so many of us, so they don't trust us the same way your first encounter, lady said she ain't trust you. How?
I don't know.
How?
I would say it goes hand in hand. If you see a female come out to a football field and say try for quarterback, and historically it's been all male quarterbacks, right. And now you get one female, and then you don't want to give her a try because you know what? Just go to wide receiver and we'll throw you the ball here and there, or make you a punter, right? But she's an athlete, so eventually once you break that barrier, now everybody else has to get on board. And going back to old times, it was always women in the classroom. And then when it started transitioning to the men wanting to do it as well, it was white men. And then it turned out they're black men because white men wanted to become the head of the school, the principals and everything else. And then when the blacks got into it, so I think it's still like a curve, that we're still trying to get around before we get straight. And that's why I think we're only at 2% still, because a lot of males don't want to be looked at, oh, you're a teacher. Almost the same as when a male say he's a nurse. Now it's accepted. It's acceptable now, but years ago, when Gaylord Fokker was a nurse, remember that?
Right?
Yeah, remember he was like, "What are you? You a doctor?" And like, "No, I'm an RN." The father looked at him like, "What you mean you're an RN? You a man?" And now it's like it's a transition. And I think that we're in transitioning stages, and that's why when our black students, males, see so many of us in front of them, and hear so many of us speak on the purpose of it, it will encourage more to say, "Hey, I don't think it's as feminine as people making it. These are men doing this job, and they're effective, and we can do the same thing." Yeah. So I think in generations it will be more and more and more. Hopefully, that's the goal. That's why we're here. That's the goal, to see more and more try it and find a passion for it and love it.